why he's banned all the buses for going in here, because he charges for you feeding the hairy cows, and some of the buses were going in and not paying, and so he's banned them all. There's these hairy cows over there. Little baby one as well. Bad, isn't it? People not paying. Sneaking in without trying to pay, you know, and the guy just had enough and he just says, no, that's it, nobody else is getting in there now. So, yeah, it's difficult to get hairy cows anymore now on this tour, and it's hardly any now. So coming down here, you're going to see some houses over on the left hand side at the foot of the mountain there. So these houses, where we call them black houses in Scotland, it's where they're called black houses because there was a thatched roof on them, and you had a fire in the middle of the room, and the smoke would go through the thatched roof. There was no chimneys on there. In front of this one here, you can actually see where there's a walled garden as well. And the walled garden is where you used to keep your cows in the winter time, and you grow your vegetables in there in the summer when you took your cows up to graze in the mountains. And this would have been full of communities. It's all empty today, but long ago this was all full of communities. And after Culloden, Scotland was divided into 450 hunting, shooting, fishing estates, you know, and all the land was taken off of Jacobite chiefs and given to the red coat chiefs. Of course, these chiefs were greedy and they wanted money off the people who lived here. People had lived here forevermore. It was their land, you know. It wasn't these red coat chiefs, but no, the government gave it to them, which meant that they could charge for the like. Now we still have to pay the fish to this day, but to charge these poor people to fish in the rivers, hunt deer, pay rent to live here, these people were starting to starve. By 1790 they started clearing the people off the lands here. Ways of doing this was to wait till they were in church on a Sunday, praying to God, and they'd barricade the doors. They couldn't get out of the church, and their houses were burnt to the ground. Burn their houses and possessions, and they had no option but to go on the boats and be waiting down in the harbours to take them to America and Canada and India, Africa, Caribbean, or it could have been anywhere in the world, Australia, New Zealand. And these poor people have to suffer on these boats. 3 months to get to America in a wooden boat. 40% of the children died before they got there. Thing called the Highland clearances, and we're never taught about that in school. It's all hushed up by the British government, but it was a form of genocide. So in the Highlands here we had the same population as they have between Glasgow and Edinburgh, what we call the Central Belt. We had the same population up here, so that gives you an idea how many people we lost up here in the Highlands. Some of them made their way to the Glasgow and Edinburgh, Aberdeen, to try and find work there. They want to leave Scotland, so they escaped boats and went to these big cities to find work. Others ended up in the boats, and some ended up what you call the edge of the world, and that is where they would have to be forced to live right on the beach to build a house. You'll see little coastal villages all around the Highlands of Scotland. The houses are built right on the beach. These are called clearance villages, originally the original Highland clearance villages. Now look, I said 40% of the children died before they got to America, for instance. And if it hadn't been for the Native Americans over there, they would never have survived the first winters over there. It's down to the Native Americans that they helped them to get through their first couple of winters. The height of cruelty, really. People never wanted to leave, but they had no option. Never see their families, not again. So that's basically the story of the Highland clearances. It lasted 150 years altogether. In the beginning, you're forced off the land, you're burnt out of your homes. At the very end of up to 1930, they were given land to move. So, like in Canada, and that, my grandmother was the oldest of 15. Big families in them days. So, you know, there was no televisions back in them days. They had to make their own entertainment. Large families, and our youngest brother Alec, he moved to Alberta in Canada, and he got a land out there. then we're going to be coming down to a little bottle site in a few minutes.